This video goes out to all my lukewarms out there. All the lukewarms I got right here. If you're watching and you know you're lukewarm, this is for you. What are you doing? Like, honestly, what are you doing? I mean, I used to be completely lukewarm. I can say this. What are you doing? I know you're all like, well, I'm still young. I'm in college. I need to enjoy my time. I gotta go to that party. Hold on, I gotta go to that party. Ooh, no, I gotta go drink real quick. I just want to try it out. You know, I'm still young. It's not gonna kill me for one drink, right? I'm still young. Nah, man, you only live once. Let's go do some fun stuff. Let's go smoke, drink. Oh yeah, let's go sleep around with everybody on the campus. Let's go have some fun. Let's go to some parties. Let's go to that frat party. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're trying to live your life according to your flesh. What are you doing, guys? That's not okay. You can't do that. That's not in the rule book, buddy. It's not in your manual. I think you might have failed the tutorial. You want to go back and read your Bible because you're doing the wrong thing right now. You realize it's not about what you want to do. It's not about what I want to do. It's not about that. It's about what he asked me to do. It's about what he's asking you to do. And right now I'm sitting in this truck, hot, sweating, to make this video because I got a feeling some people are watching this and they know they're lukewarm. They know they go to parties. They know they do all of these awful bad things. And yes, they are. They're awful bad. They really are. You can deny it, but you realize if you're denying it, that means you're trying to defend it. That means you're trying to defend your lifestyle. If you're denying it, that's on you. And recently, I saw a post where someone was like, hey, is it a good idea for me as a Christian to have condoms? You could always you could always just say, well, you know, I'm trying to be safe. I'm just trying to, like, you know, it's a backup. It's just in case I need it. What do you mean in case you need it? If you're a Christian, should you be in that position? Now, if you're married, you're excused. You're married. It's biblical. You're good. You're fine. You're allowed to do that. Chances are you're not old enough. You're not married. You're not meant to be doing that right now. You're not supposed to have sex before marriage. Get that out. Just go ahead and get that out the window. You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. All right? And I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that offends you. I'm sorry if that makes you mad. I'm sorry if you're like, how can he be saying that to me? How could you be defending yourself right now? If you're defending it right now, you need to take a step back. You need to look at yourself, okay? So this dude was like, is it okay for me as a Christian to have condoms? You gotta realize, if you're a Christian and you feel the need to go buy condoms, you need to go reevaluate your lifestyle, buddy, because you are in the wrong position right now, all right? You need to go back and you need to rethink what you're doing. If you're even in the position to have to need them, you need to reevaluate your situation, Bubba, because you're doing the wrong thing. You're in the wrong situation, man. You're not doing, no, And you ever been somewhere where there was alcohol present or somebody's vaping or smoking and you just feel uncomfortable? That's God telling you not to be there. That's God telling you, you shouldn't even be here. Why are you here? I mean, and most likely you'll end up ignoring it because you're like, nah, I'm still young. I want to have fun. Nah, I still have a long life ahead of me. You're not promised tomorrow. You could die right now. You can have a heart attack and die right now. And if you look back on it, pretend you died right this second. Would your life up to this point be glorifying to God? And if you died right now, if you died this very second, would you go to heaven and would you expect him to let you in? Would you get there and think to yourself, oh yeah, I'm definitely getting in. Oh yeah, I'm spending eternity with God. Totally. If you're doubting that right now, that means you need to straighten it out right now, because you're not even promised the very next second. You're not promised the next minute. You're not promised anything. Only thing you're promised in life is death. That is the only thing that's guaranteed. That is it, is death. You're guaranteed a death. And I know, hard stuff to talk about. Nobody wants to talk about death. But thing is, stop being a sissy about it. Death is guaranteed. It's natural. It's gonna happen. You can't just avoid talking about it, because one day it's gonna happen to you either way, so why avoid talking about it? You're going to die. I'm going to die. We are all going to die. So answer yourself this question. Have you lived a life that you think would make God proud or ashamed of? Because in the Bible, he says, I'm paraphrasing here, this is not the exact verse, don't quote me exactly on this, but he says, if you're ashamed of me, I'll be ashamed of you. If you go out in public and someone asks you a question like they asked Peter, like,
hey, aren't you one of his disciples? Hey, don't you follow him?
What's your answer to that question gonna be? Because if it's no, and you're scared to talk about him in public, then he's gonna be scared to talk about you to his father, to your father. But if you go out in public and someone asks you something like that, or you go out in public and you just share with no care in the world, then guess what? He'll do the same for you. He will not be ashamed to mention your name in front of his father. He won't be ashamed to mention your name. Could you imagine getting to heaven and him being ashamed of you? Him being ashamed to be like, yeah, that's my son. Yeah, that's my daughter. Could you imagine that? Him being ashamed of you because you just didn't want to live your life for him, because you wanted to be lukewarm, because you wanted to do what you wanted to do, because you only lived once. You see, they always say you only live once. Technically, you only live twice. The second one's a lot longer. This one's like your test run. Are you willing to live for God? This is your proof. This is your interview. Are you gonna get the job? Or is he gonna turn you down? And are you gonna send yourself to hell? Because he didn't send nobody to hell. Don't get that twisted. He sends nobody to hell. He don't send a single person to hell. You send yourself there because he gave you free will to choose. And if you choose not to, again, you can't blame him because you sent yourself there. He gives you your whole life to choose. You have a whole life to choose the right thing. And if you chose to live according to yourself, he is not going to stop you. He gave you that choice, and if you chose to do it, he'll respect your decision. How can you be mad at him for respecting your decision? And you realize, everybody always like, oh, I don't want to go to hell, it's eternal torture. Do you realize what hell most likely is? You get to heaven for Judgment Day, you stand before him, and you experience the glory of God for the first time. You experience his glory. You're right there. And if you were an atheist, this is where you realize, oh shoot, he's real. Oh shoot, these Christians weren't joking around. Oh shoot, they weren't nutcases. Oh my gosh, he's real. And you get to that situation, and then he tells you to depart because he never knew you. He tells you to depart because he never knew you. And then you go to hell, which is, by definition, it is eternal separation from God. So how would it feel to get to that point? Get so close to heaven. You're on the doorstep, and then get turned away forever. Could you believe the amount of, I couldn't fathom that feeling. And that's truly my greatest fear, is getting up there and thinking that everything I did was enough. Because nothing I do here will ever be enough. Nothing I do here will ever grant me access to his heaven. When I get to his feet, and when he asks me, why should I let you into my heaven? Why should you come in? What did you do to deserve to be here right now? I'm going to look at him and say, not anything I've done, but what you've done. And I'm going to point over there in the corner and say, but because of what he did, because of his sacrifice. And in case you can't figure it out, I'm pointing right at Jesus, saying, because of him. That's why you should let me in, because he knows me. And then Jesus will walk up to you, and he'll walk up to me, and he'll say, well done, my good and faithful servant. And he'll give you a hug. And finally, you'll understand that all the suffering you went through in this life, all the times you missed out on drinking, all the times you missed out on parties, all the times you missed out on sex, all the times you missed out on all of these worldly things, it was worth it. It was worth it. So repent now. Turn away. Do a 180. If you're lukewarm, it's time to turn the heater up, buddy, because you're either hot or cold. So it's time to put yourself on that stovetop and let's get cooking. That's cringe, but whatever. It makes sense. You know? It's time to turn the heat up on your walk with Christ. It's time to turn it up. Alright? It's time. You're not promised tomorrow. You can't just say, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll read my Bible tomorrow. I'll start tomorrow. No. There is no time. Now.